Morning. My name is David Crispinus, and I would like to start off by thanking all of you here at Northwestern University for allowing me to speak with you today on behalf of the Chicago Transit Authority. Now, being business majors, I'm sure that many of you will accept job positions right here in Chicago at one point or another in your career. Likewise, I'm sure many of you will opt to live in the suburbs and commute to the city each day to work. However, it's this tedious trip that can make life difficult for you and your fellow employees down the road. If you choose to live in the suburbs, you're looking at up to an hour's drive into and back out of the city each business day just to get to work and back. But there is a solution in the form of mass transit. Mass transit can not only make the daily commute easier on all of you, it can also have positive effects on the city of Chicago as a whole. In fact, mass transit is cheaper, faster, and more environmentally friendly than the use of personal cars. With this in mind, I'd like to share with you in more detail some of the many reasons why you should consider using mass transit. Now, one important reason to use mass transit that people often overlook is the significant savings it provides for transportation. Mass transit offers low, flat rates for its riders, with passes that can be purchased for individual trips or unlimited monthly use, as well as special rates for seniors, children, and those with disabilities. But where the real savings comes in is when you consider the driving expenses that are eliminated by using mass transit, such as the large amount of gas you'll use each day and the maintenance costs which can be incurred from the rough driving conditions. To illustrate this, let's take a more detailed look at an example of some of the savings that can be achieved. Now, by taking the L train, you can choose from either a $1.50 pass per ride or the more preferred method of a $75 unlimited monthly pass. On the other hand, let's say you take your personal car. Now, if your average distance is about 80 miles, which is actually the average round-trip distance of the commutes from the suburbs of St. Charles, Aurora, and Barrington, and you can average 20 miles per gallon on the trip, which is a reasonable estimate under the driving conditions, you're going to use about 4 gallons of gas each day. Now, multiplied by the most recent 24-hour average gas price of $1.50, as reported by ChicagoGasPrices.com, and you're going to be spending $6 a day on gas alone, or about $125 a month. This adds up to a savings of $600 a year, at least, without even including the maintenance costs for your vehicle. That's a pretty significant savings for simply riding the train to work and back each day. But more important than the cost for most people is that using mass transit takes up less travel time than driving your personal car. According to thedailydrive.com, a website devoted to monitoring this agonizing trip, Chicago's commute is the 4th longest of any city in the country. With this much amount of time being spent on travel, it's important to have consistency in the length of your trip in order to most effectively budget your time. This consistency is something that's only available through mass transit. In addition to this, mass transit travels at comparable speeds to auto traffic under ideal conditions, which actually turns out to be much faster when you throw in delays such as heavy traffic, construction, auto accidents, and stoplights. According to the Regional Transportation Association, the average auto commuter in Chicago will spend 61 hours a year stuck in heavy traffic. That's a full 2.5 days each year that you can save yourself by simply using mass transit and cutting down on travel time. But by far, the most important reason to use mass transit is that it is far more environmentally sound than using individual cars. Cars give off harmful air pollutants such as carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, hydrocarbons, and carbon dioxide. In fact, in a study done by the University of South Florida, it was found that just burning one single tank of gas will produce between 300 and 400 pounds of carbon dioxide into the air. This large amount of air pollution, in turn, contributes to pressing environmental issues such as the greenhouse effect, which is responsible for global warming, smog, which irritates eyes and makes it difficult to breathe, and acid rain, which deteriorates such structures as buildings and statues. In the same study done by the University of South Florida, a side-by-side comparison was made between the harmful emissions of cars, buses, and rail transit. The study clearly showed that the grams per passenger mile of cars of harmful emissions was far greater than that of buses, and even more so than that of rail transit, which was virtually zero. All in all, rail transit turned out to be over 15 times more efficient than using passenger cars. This just goes to show that by using mass transit, you can make a real difference in your environment and make the city of Chicago a cleaner and better place to live and work. In summary, we've looked at 3 important reasons why you should use mass transit. That it can save you a significant amount of money, that it can make your travel times shorter and more consistent, and most importantly, that it can help preserve the environment. With these arguments in mind, I hope that you do yourself and your city of Chicago a great service and choose mass transit now and in the future. Thank you.